So I spent the month of March in Malaysia. Part of my motivation is that I'm kind of doing an experiment, seeing how cheaply I can live outside the US. Like, can I live off 1,000 per month or 1,200 per month? So it was kind of an exploratory trip to see if I might want to spend more time overseas in the future. For anyone curious about it, anyone who thinks they might not be able to retire in the US because it's just too expensive and they're on a fixed income, or anyone wondering if they can live decently on just their Social Security check, like anyone who doesn't have investments or a retirement savings and is wondering if it's doable, if it's possible. Now, there are a lot of videos out there of people living off $1,000 a month or less. Some say it's not possible, and that cost of living has risen all over the world, and $1,000 just doesn't cut it anymore. Others will say you can still find places where you can live even more cheaply than that each month. So I'll give an apartment tour where I was living in Kuala Lumpur and detail my monthly expenses. Malaysia is a nice place to travel to and try living for a few months. With a US passport, no tourist visa, I was able to get a 90-day visa. So it's possible you could stay in Kuala Lumpur for a month and then try another place for a while, maybe Penang, or head south to Johor, where cost of living is very low, and live just north of Singapore for a while. From there, it's very easy and cheap to take a bus across the border and spend a day or longer in Singapore. Other cities that I've gotten word of mouth recommendations about are Malacca and Ipoh in the northern highlands, both historical towns with more of a laid-back vibe and very affordable cost of living. So I chose an apartment on Airbnb. Now I know if you're looking for cheap living, Airbnb is not the best way to go. The way to find the best deals is on the ground. Once you're in a city, you can walk around and explore, see where you want to stay, see the for rent signs on buildings and check things out. It was my first time traveling to Kuala Lumpur, and I just finished up with 2 months of teaching in the south of Malaysia. So I was looking forward to staying somewhere nice, and I was ready to pay a little more. I wasn't looking for just a simple hotel room or a backpacker style place. So I was going right into teaching online, and the first requirement I had that was the most important consideration was a solid internet connection, high speed and reliable. Before booking, I even emailed the host to double check about this. I don't mind staying in simple, cheap hotel rooms, but sometimes the internet is unreliable, and so that was number one. And next, I love these modern buildings in Malaysia. They're like resorts, infinity pools, gyms, maybe even a garden, a walking exercise area on one level, and other common spaces like a reading room, a lounging type community room. So that's what I was looking for. I wanted to hit the gym a few times a week and swim whenever I wanted to. This building checked all those boxes. 2 great infinity pools, one on the 5th floor and one on the 37th floor, that featured a great view of the city skyline. Another thing I really like is a balcony space. Now, although it lacked a good view, it was nice to be able to sit outside and read or drink coffee on the balcony. It was a good, comfortable space, plenty of room. I had a full kitchen, a living room area, and a separate bedroom. For all this space and the balcony and the pools and other amenities of the building, I don't think I could ever afford something similar if this building was in the US. The US really doesn't have comparable apartment buildings like this, as far as I can tell. And I wonder what something similar would cost in the US. Like $2,000 a month, $2,500 a month, $3,000 a month. It would probably be considered luxury living or something. But that's not what it is. It's just a decent space in a nice building, nothing extravagant, and everything is convenient. Many people throughout Asia live in similar style apartment buildings. It's common to find apartments like this in China and Thailand, for example. Now, Malaysia really excels in these modern buildings with infinity pools. Other things I loved about this building, the first floor lobby has a garden area with like a massive goldfish pond, koi pond. And it's a giant loop around the lobby, and the fish can swim laps, if they wanted to. It was great to spend a few moments each day stopping by to watch the fish. And there's a coffee shack and an area with some tables there. So you can hang out, drink coffee right alongside the goldfish pond. Very peaceful and relaxing place. The main floor also has a small grocery store, so it's convenient to grab anything you need right there. And a 10-minute walk away is Sunway Putra Mall. There's a full grocery store there, some coffee shops, a bunch of great restaurants. My favorites were the Japanese and Korean places. International food there, like anything you might want. Now, malls aren't really a place I go to much in the States unless there's a specific store I'm looking for. Malls are kind of dead in the US, but throughout Asia, it's the opposite. Malls are thriving places for shopping, food, groceries, movie theaters, and entertainment such as live concerts right in the mall. They're bustling places filled with people throughout the day. And in Southeast Asia, where the weather is often very hot and humid, it's a nice option to get out of the heat and cool off somewhere with air conditioning for a while. So I was originally looking for a place in the $500 to $550 range, and depending on the time of year, I think it's possible to find that in Kuala Lumpur. But this was the place that met all my requirements. And I originally saw it for cheaper. I saw it listed for cheaper, but when I went to book it, it was $600 per month, and there were fees tacked on. So in total, I paid $700 for the month. Now, could I have gone much cheaper? Yes, definitely. But in the end, I figured it was worth it. I would never find something similar in the US for $700, but it's still a great deal in my eyes. Think of all the bills I'm eliminating by living here. Like no car insurance, not having to pay for gas, internet, all utilities are included. I'm still paying off student loans from 20 years ago, and I'm paying a cell phone bill in the US for about $40 a month. I'm also paying down a small credit card debt and one or two other small bills like $15 a month for PicMonkey website where I can make thumbnails or download stock videos download stock photos and videos if I need to. So I have about $200 per month in bills. I'm going to leave that out since that's going to be different for everyone. So I'm just going to stick to the basics of like the rent I paid, in general food, and just the total for rent and food for the month was $700 for rent, maybe $300 to $400 for food and transportation. Food is very cheap in Malaysia, maybe $4 to $6 in Kuala Lumpur for a good meal. In Johor in the south, it's about $3 to $4 for a meal. So total expenses I estimate as between $1,100 and $1,200 for the month. Once again, I could have gone with a simpler, cheaper apartment if I really wanted to save. I think it would be possible to shave another $100 or $200 off the rent each month for, a total of $1,000 in expenses. It's very possible to find nice apartments for $500 per month in Kuala Lumpur. For this amount, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything or depriving myself of anything. I'm living simply, enjoying my life, and having a great deal of freedom. So this will be different for everyone. If you want to take a tour, see some concerts, or take a short trip somewhere, then of course you will need to factor in those extra costs. Same goes for doing a visa run or relocating to somewhere else where when your 90-day visa expires, and the cost of health insurance. So this is a fun experiment, and I'll continue to make content like this. Maybe it will be helpful for those who want to spend part of the year overseas where it's still possible to live cheaply and have a great life. Or as I mentioned earlier, people who are thinking about retiring or just spending part of each year overseas, or maybe on a fixed income or a tight budget, really can't afford the cost of living in the US. So hopefully this is helpful to someone in those situations. Okay, thank you for watching everyone, and have a wonderful day.